Hi, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So last night it was really late and we heard this loud noise out of our window, and I'm going to tell you all about it here in just a sec. I am Joyce, going to remind you of my 12-week course online, and it starts June 24th and it goes to September 9th. And it's every Monday for an hour and a half, a live Zoom call with like-minded people that are wanting to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Just a reminder of my story. I maybe this is the first time you've watched this, but I suffered from depression and suicidal thoughts for 30 plus years, and I have not had depression or suicidal thoughts for going on 9 years. It's a miracle. I didn't think I would ever get to that spot, and when I hit rock bottom, I just feel like I've been led by God on how to start my healing journey, and be able to have joy and be able to move forward in a healthy manner. And so I share all the tools that I've learned in the 9 years. And so click on the link in the comments below, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. But I'm going to talk. Oh, by the way, the first 20 people that register get 50% off this course. It's a valuable course, whether you're paying full price or half price. You can't put a price on your life. And I really think there's a lot of life-saving tips for people. I know this because I have been in a really scary spot with suicidal thoughts, and it wasn't pretty. And I know that we can heal holistically and naturally without the use of drugs. I'm walking proof. So check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. So what was this noise that woke us up dead out of our sleep? We were just have been asleep. I don't know for how long, maybe a half hour. But all of a sudden, we sleep with our windows open because I love the area we live in. One area we lived in, it would still say so hot at night, you couldn't open the windows. You had to leave the AC on all night long. Well, we live in a beautiful area where, it cools down at night and we can open our windows. And so our windows are wide open and we hear this loud noise. And oh my gosh, our kids, they probably have anxiety from being raised like this, but anytime we would hear the mosquito truck, there's a mosquito truck that comes and sprays for mosquitoes, and it just is super loud, but it's spraying these toxic chemicals throughout the streets and neighborhoods of our town, our community. And I'm all about ditching the chemicals. And from the beginning, as soon as we would hear that truck go by, we would yell out, "Close all the windows! Stop what you're doing! And everybody close a window!" And so we would it was as soon as we heard that truck go by, even before we could hear it. Sometimes we could hear it several blocks away. And so anytime we would hear this mosquito truck, we just hurry, close all the windows. And last night, that was one of those days we woke up out of our sleep because the mosquito truck was coming and our windows were open, and we just shut the windows. And we keep them shut for a couple of hours because of the toxic chemicals. We don't want to smell them and breathe them in. They're horrible. So I want to talk about chemicals. Chemicals affect our body. They affect our they affect our if they affect our thinking. They can cause brain fog. It can cause health troubles, breathing issues. So I want you to ask yourself, how many cleaning chemicals do you have in your home? Under your cupboards. If you were to clean out under all your cupboards and look into your cupboards and put a pile there, how much of it is toxic, harmful chemicals? If a toddler were to come into your house, what do they have access to? Maybe you're like, well, there's a fat chance. There's no chance of a toddler coming in. I just want you to be aware of the toxic chemicals that surround us every day. So I ditched my chemicals in 2013. I got rid of most all the chemicals in my household, and it was a wonderful feeling. My household does not get sick near as much as they used to, because the chemicals make us sick. It gives us breathing issues. Now more than ever, people are diagnosed. Usually, 30 plus years ago, 40, 50 plus years ago, people in their 60s and 70s and 80s were being diagnosed with asthma not as small children and 20 and 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds. But now people are getting diagnosed with asthma all over the board, no matter the age range. It's just all over the board. People are getting diagnosed with asthma. And I'm here to tell you the toxic chemicals that we clean our homes with are having a huge impact on that. Not only toxic chemicals that we clean with, but the stuff that we use in our laundry, our detergents, our fabric softeners, our dryer sheets, the bleach, and not only that, candles. Um, I don't want to name out the brands because I'm not here to dog on the brands, but they're very harmful. Those sprays that you use to freshen up a room that they have all over on commercials, that just telling you, how great it is with a smile on your face. You're spraying formaldehyde in rooms. It's full of formaldehyde and toxic chemicals, and it's harming our health. It is so bad for our health. There are many alternatives that you can use to freshen up your home to make it smell better, but using those sprays that line our grocery stores aisles on the cleaning aisle, those are so harmful for your health. Those candles that have the senses on it, the senses are harmful for your health. It's doing more harm than good. And people are like, but I like it. I get it. Because when I became a consultant for a company called Norwex, I became a Norwex consultant because I had I have sensitive lungs. I've had sensitive lungs my whole life. I fought for my life, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And physically, I fought for my life. When I was a small child, I remembered I was walking down the street and I passed a man who was smoking a cigarette. And just passing him, I got sick for 2 weeks. My lungs were so weak they couldn't handle it. And I got a bad bronchial infection in the lungs. I was coughing and it made me sick for 2 whole weeks. Just that one cigarette, not me smoking a cigarette, just passing by, smelling the fumes of the cigarettes. They're toxic, they're harmful. Um, and so I had sensitive lungs. So when I came across this, this alternative way of thinking, of cleaning my home, of ditching the chemicals, I was interested. I didn't realize how toxic all the chemicals that I had been using up to that point. I had no idea how it was hurting my health. And I'm just telling you, if you ditch all the chemicals out of your home, I want you to do an experiment with me because I did this. I ditched all the chemicals out of my home. And then within a few short months, when I would go to the store and when I would pass the the aisle with the chemicals and the cleaners and the laundry supplies, all of that, when I would pass that aisle, I would immediately get a headache. I would immediately get a headache and my lungs would start burning. And I had to pull my shirt up and over my nose. I couldn't take the smell. And unfortunately, they keep on the cleaning aisle, and you're like, well, why are you going on the cleaning aisle? Why don't you just avoid that aisle altogether? And I would, but at my grocery store, I don't know what your grocery store is like, but they keep baking soda on that same aisle. And I love baking soda. Baking soda is an alternative to clean with if you want that cleaner. It's great to add to your laundry. It's a great deodorizer, and I love baking soda. Baking soda has so many uses. So many uses. I love it. And it's not going to affect your health. So I would go on the aisle to just go grab my baking soda, all while I'm holding up my shirt over my nose, going, oh my gosh, or I just hold my breath. I take in a deep breath before I go on that aisle and hurry and go to get the baking soda and then get off. I know it sounds crazy, but I really value my health, and my lungs tend to be on the weak side. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to strengthen them. So it's important to know what it is you're taking in, because chemicals can give you brain fog. They can give you lung issues. They can give you asthma. They can give you dry coughing. They can give you headaches. They can give you skin irritations. So pay attention to what is going on. Rashes just appear out of nowhere. And some people are like, well, I've used the same stuff all the time, and sometimes it doesn't show up right away. So take out the chemicals when any of those hives, rashes, or anything appear. Um, our skin is our biggest organ, and I was raised with parents that were into health, and they're still into health. And so I just remember when I would have my first few babies, I would go visit my parents, and I had baby lotion, and I would lather my babies in lotion, and my parents would be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing putting all those chemicals on them?" And I'm like, "Oh, I know, but they smell so good." And I loved the smell of baby lotion on my babies, but my parents were right. It was full of toxic chemicals, and our skin is the biggest organ, and those chemicals go right into the bloodstream. So lotions, perfumes, whatever it is that has, so watch the ingredients. I am all for putting natural ingredients into the system on your body. There are ways to do it. So I remember, I mean, I used the top cleaners to clean my home, and and I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna name any name brands, but I should have had some stock into those companies because I spent a lot of money, and I used some of these products that a lot of them had bleach in them and different things, and it was awful. But when I became a consultant for this Norwex company, and I still am a consultant, I'm a firm believer. When I became a consultant for this company, and I'll leave my website in the comments below. I'm not saying, hey, buy off of Norwex. There are so many ways to go green and ditch the chemicals. But if you so choose to go with Norwex, I happen to be a consultant. I will always be a firm believer in ditching the chemicals. So I'll share my website. But so it just, this what was I going for? Oh, the big thing is when I switched to ditching my chemicals and going chemical free, I had a hard time at first because my house didn't smell clean. After I would go clean the bathroom, I'm like, where's that? Where's that clean smell from the cleaners that I used to clean with? Um, but the lady that had signed up from, yes, it's a direct sales company. So the lady that I had signed up under, she was like, well, once you clean, clean doesn't have a smell. Clean does not have a smell. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. Clean does not have a smell. And so, and I put it to the test. I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay attention to that. That's okay. That's a thought. So I cleaned, the bathrooms, and, we have a lot of boys at that time. I had a lot of toddler boys that were peeing everywhere. And so before you clean a bathroom, it's going to smell like pee, right? When the bathroom gets dirty over a week's time, it smells like urine. And so I'd go in there and clean. And sure enough, it didn't smell like urine anymore, but it didn't have that, chemical smell of the toxic cleaners that it was leaving by. But I'm like, okay, she's right. Clean does not have a smell. It doesn't smell like boys have been in here peeing everywhere. So we're good. But I love a clean, a fresh scent after cleaning the bathroom. So I shortly thereafter became a fan of diffusers and using essential oils. Essential oils don't not only help your physical health, but they help mental health and emotional health, and therefore turning into helping you spiritually on top. So it just is an all-encompassing thing. So I highly encourage you to ditch the chemicals, find out what it is, whether it's candles, whether it's those frou-frou, I call them frou-frou sprays, the sprays to, freshen up a room or make it smell good. Norwex has alternatives, and it takes the bad smells away, but yet it's not going to leave harmful chemicals behind. So I'm not saying don't use anything and just ditch them all, because it's just sometimes I've cleaned homes. I clean homes right now. As I'm transitioning to work from home, I clean homes right now, and I use strictly Norwex products, and they have cleaners. They have plant-based cleaners that are friendly, that's not going to make children sick, pets sick, anybody sick when you're cleaning around them. So just such a friendly, ditching the toxic chemicals. In fact, Norwex has an oven cleaner. Oven cleaners are like, if you go get an oven cleaner at the grocery store, You cannot clean the oven with the windows not open. You have to fumigate the house. The windows all have to be open, and you don't want anybody around because it is horrible. And usually the person cleaning the oven has the mask and all this stuff on. And it's awful. I hardly ever cleaned my ovens because it stunk so bad and it was so harsh on my lungs. So Norwex has this amazing oven cleaner that you can use, and everybody that's in your household can stay put where they're at when you're cleaning it because it doesn't throw any toxic chemicals into the air, and it's very friendly. In fact, I have cleaned my oven with toddlers crawling around, and it doesn't bother them one bit. And so there are alternatives to ditch the chemicals and to keep our homes clean. But I just encourage you to pay attention to your surroundings because those chemicals do affect us. They can affect our hormones. That's a huge, our hormones are delicate. And so it can throw our hormones out of whack, just the chemicals that we are using. So cancer-causing agents, all of the chemicals that are lining your store shelves or those products that you're spraying or those candles, they all are carcinogens. They have carcinogens in them, and they're cancer-causing. Yes, we all have cancer cells in our body. Most of us have them as dormant, but a lot of these outside factors of harmful chemicals can cause cancer and sicknesses and illness. And so I highly recommend you to ditch the chemicals. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And you're not only going to help you, the health of yourself, but anybody that comes to visit, anybody, whether you have kids in your home, whatever, it just spreads to keeping it in a friendly environment and that won't get others sick. So that's my spill. Stay healthy, ditch the chemicals. And sometimes it's really hard for people to go all at once. Commit to doing one room at a time. Take the chemicals out of one room at a time. And I did want to talk about Norwex has body cloths. So they have body cloths where you just use water, no soap, no body wash, no nothing. And my husband was angry when I took that out of our bathroom. I took all the soaps and toxic stuff out of our bathroom, and he was just so angry. And I said, tell you what, I am not going to become a consultant if I can't have your support. If I don't have your support, it's not worth it. And so you're going to be my tester. You just test this cloth for 6 weeks. You got to use this cloth. Yes, it's just water, and you rinse it out really good between each use. And you could use the same cloth for a whole week, sometimes 3 days, but I get a whole week. You use the same cloth and you wash everywhere, top to bottom. And unless you go to a class, you don't understand, but you get clean. Okay, this one cloth with water, you get clean. And so he tried it, and I just thought, okay, well, you know what? 6 weeks had gone by, and he was still using this cloth with just water to clean himself. And he gets sweaty. He works and gets sweaty and does a lot of filthy jobs. But he was like, wow, I feel clean. Well, one day I thought, you know what? I'm going to put his old stuff back in the shower, and I'm going to take the Norwex body cloth out to see what that will do. And as soon as I took that out and put his old stuff back in, that night he came home and he was like, where's my stuff? And I said, it's all in there. Don't you see it? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about. Where's my Norwex cloth? And I said, oh, do you like it? And he was like, no, I don't like it. I love it. And so we have been strictly Norwex since then. And that was the green light for me to go ahead and sell the products because I'm a firm believer. And I had a boy that dealt with eczema, and I'll share that story tomorrow. But he had eczema for 2.5 years straight, and I couldn't get rid of it. So I will tell you what I did with that. So thank you for following. Subscribe to my channel, share it with others, and God bless. You are made to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Bye for now.